Hello everybody and welcome back to Roller Waves 2. So I have a new cable replacing the old one that I was using for my headset, so it no longer craps out. Let me go ahead and get my timer started. We are still in what I am counting as our third war with the British, because I'm counting the last technically two as a single war with the British. Because it was supposed to be a single war, but it turns out when I added Germany in, Britain's unrest was very high, as I've mentioned in the past, which is the reason why they ended up making peace almost immediately after adding Germany. Thank you. The Wasp finished her work up. Wonderful. France wants to buy stuff. I could use more money, France, so sure. And an unexpected advancement in light forces and torpedo warfare. Increases torpedo readiness. I'm not quite sure what that does, to be honest. Okay, our cap has become more effective as well, which is always nice, and we've gotten guided bombs, which increases the effectiveness of our air attacks. And an enemy sub has torpedoed the Rush. And in a spirited gun duel, sunk the Barbara, which is another Rush class. And Britain is no longer being blockaded. Is that maybe because I pulled my... No, I don't think it's because I pulled my Dreadnought out of there. Is it? I shouldn't have to have one of my ships in Northern Europe to blockade that. It should just be a matter of my allies are there and are capable of blockading them. That's the only thing that should matter. But maybe that's not the case. I don't know. If that isn't the case, that's a weird way for it to work. If I have to actually have one of my ships there. Makes absolutely zero sense. Also, looks like they have basically pulled out of Southeast Asia now, at least temporarily. So that should help to hopefully relieve Borneo so that they don't retake that, because I don't know if I'll be able to invade it if they do succeed in retaking it. I also did remember to go ahead and give the French an arm, because that was the plan. Oh, they are really abandoning it. Now they apparently only have a single seaplane carrier. And we've stolen a Japanese design. I don't care. For the Congo class. It's an okay battle cruiser, I suppose, though I don't know why you only have 3 turrets. Centerline. Have you not invented 4-turret centerline? Or is there a legitimate reason for why you chose to go with just 3 centerline turrets? Now, interestingly, our spies did not manage to figure out what their heavy AA factor should be. We know they should have some because they have dual-purpose secondaries. But for whatever reason, it's not being listed here. Also, those turrets, those secondaries are very lightly armored at only 1 inch. That means they can suffer from splintering. And they do have aircraft, apparently, on this battle cruiser. And okay, we just saved some weight with diesel, not that that's going to help us at all. Close to mastering, 5-inch dual purpose, always nice, because those are better than 4 and 3-inch. We will probably send some of our stuff through those upgrades once we have the opportunity. And Vought has a new and improved flying boat. Well, a new and improved model, rather, of their Vindicator flying boat. It's same speed, same range, a little bit extra firepower, and a little extra toughness. I mean, I won't say no, because there's no reason to say no, really, but it's not really an improvement. And yeah, the British have been forced out of Borneo. Fighting continues in Newfoundland. And I don't think any info. Ooh. The battlecruiser Hiei is rumored to carry 17-inch main guns. Now, I don't think that's accurate. It's possible it is, but I don't think it's accurate. 17-inch guns on a battlecruiser seems like a terrible idea. Also, apparently we are mutually blockading one another. So, that's a thing, apparently. Okay, the two battlecruisers that are in the Caribbean. The Constitution and the... I thought we lost the Constitution. I don't know why I thought we lost the Constitution, but apparently not. Maybe it was torpedoed, and for some reason I thought we had lost it. I'm not sure. Either way, we're going to bring you up, because no fighting should really be going on in the Caribbean, at least nothing significant. I'll probably even take some of the DDs out of there. Because I only have 5. Yeah, I think I'm going to take some of the destroyers out here. Not all of them, mind you, because I'd like to leave some. But we could stand to have a little extra. So we have 9. I think I'll take 4. That'll get us 9 on the North American East Coast. This will hopefully force them out of the North American East Coast, or at least end the blockade that is apparently happening right now. There was a ship that we were doing a rebuild for, and it was a Wyoming, I thought. It did not finish. Looks like it did not finish, okay. For some reason I thought it had, but evidently not. Or at least I thought it should have. But evidently I was wrong about that. So that's a thing apparently. It's fine, we'll live. Okay, there we go. Well, we're gonna continue trying to take Bermuda, if we can. Small engagement, and I mean, assuming this is accurate, it looks like they moved a bunch of their ships out of already. So the blockades are gonna end before I've even done anything. And they are gonna give me battle. Now, estimated was a battle cruiser and some other stuff. And I don't have any of my battle cruisers. I think it said it was a cruiser engagement. Now, I'm hoping that the game's not going to screw me. And, oh, damn it, I can't, Okay, I'll tell you not to fire your torpedoes, but I can't put you in line ahead formation right now. Now, night's going to fall. We're going to get to fight a night battle around Newfoundland, which is fine with me. Because I'm not going to have to worry about these damn torpedo bombers that they apparently have around here. There we go. Now I can put you in line ahead. Tell you to go full speed. Or, well, maybe not full speed. We'll just go a nice leisurely 20 knots. And we'll see if we run into them. In theory, they should be up this way. There's no guarantee that they are, in fact, up that way, but in theory they should be. Now, I do see a bunch of stuff landing. So I think we probably launched a bunch of aircraft for recon and then realized, oh wait, night's falling. Call them back, never mind. Oh, well, some are still taking off. I'm seeing some cap taking off from Boston. I'm pretty sure typically aircraft do not get to launch at night, but it looks like I might be wrong about that potentially. Does it maybe only apply to aircraft carriers? I don't think so, because I can't recall ever being attacked by land-based aircraft at night. Also, the fact that we're failing to find them is somewhat disconcerting. Now I see that there's some friendly thing down there. I'm going to go ahead and send the destroyers down there at Squadron Max to check it out. Figure out what the hell's going on down here. Okay, so it is up here. I wasn't sure if maybe the enemy was supposed to be attacking this and maybe the game spawned me with the wrong heading for intercepting the enemy, but okay, never mind. We found something. New York, I need you to speed up because I don't know what this is. The Cincinnati's going to turn off to try and regroup with you. I don't really mind if we lose sight of it right now. I just need to get you guys grouped up together, because whatever this thing is, I need as much firepower together as I can. And the New York is the only thing with any real firepower in this squadron that's being sent out, or this force that's being sent out. Cincinnati has crappy 6-inch guns, and I can't make them any bigger. Okay, now turn back around, Cincinnati. Okay, I think that's 2 things. That's 2 things, yep. Still don't know what they are, and we still don't have blind fire with radar. So, we're still going at this fairly blind. And the game's failing to pause again. Now, I'm pretty sure the British don't have blind fire with radar as well. So, both of us are just kind of picking each other up, more than likely. At the very least, I'm picking them up. I'm fairly certain they're picking us up as well. But until we get in sighting range and are actually able to identify these ships, we can't fire on each other. Which is good news for me. I'm going to have you turn a little bit more to the east. Well, I guess a little, yeah. A little more northeast rather than straight north. Like I had you heading originally. Now, I'm assuming these are maybe 2 cruisers. They don't seem to be going fast enough to be destroyers. At least I don't think so, but we won't know for certain until we get into sighting range and identify them as something. Do we know it? They're firing medium guns. Gums. Firing medium guns, so these are definitely cruisers of some sort. Because I imagine the game doesn't consider 4 or 5-inch guns as medium guns. I could certainly be wrong about that. Cincinnati's took a hit to the Y turret. What was it? 6-inch gun. These might be light cruisers. In which case, the Cincinnati's going to take damage. It theoretically has a chance of surviving, as long as it doesn't take anything too drastic. The New York should be able to mop these guys up with relative ease. Let's get a nice torpedo out. We're going to go with that one. Now, sadly, you don't have torpedoes center line. So to get the other one off, you're going to have to turn around. Those look like they should hit. And of course the game says no. Oh, New York. Okay, well, New York, I need you to hit these things. There you go. You got 3 hits on this one with your 4-inch gun. Okay. You got nice big 10-inchers. Fire them. I want you to turn. It's possible you might have been better off not turning, but I don't know because we don't have sonar. Sonar does not exist in this game. I wish it did. I really did, because it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense why we don't have sonar, and Cincinnati took a torpedo. No major flooding on the Cincinnati, somewhat surprisingly, and same with the New York. So, they're a little worse for wear, but they'll survive. But the Cincinnati has taken quite a bit of damage, so I think I'm going to tell it to go ahead and break off and head back to Halifax. In the meantime, the New York is going to attempt to continue the chase, or at least keep eyes on them until our destroyers can hopefully get in here and just destroy them with torpedoes. Look to be coming in for another run, whatever they are. Head straight west. Stay outside of their actual weapons, well, sighting range, rather. Destroyers are almost there. They should be able to sink these things with their magic torpedoes. If they can get in. I just need to know where the enemy is. Now you're Cincinnati, you're gonna slow down to a nice slow 10 knots so you don't blow a bulkhead. New York, I need you to go pretty much as fast as you can. We'll slow you down a little bit to the 20 knots, but I need you to keep as much of an eye on these guys as you can until the destroyers arrive. They're not too far behind, although I think some of them are going a little slow. No, it's just there's a bit of a gap here between the Stewart and the Wainwright for whatever reason. Also, I thought the Wainwright sunk, but evidently not. Oh, they look, yeah, they're coming in. Break off a little so they don't actually get inside you or get within sighting range. Because both of us have terrible sighting range right now. Just keep relying on that radar detection. You almost have dealt with your flooding, New York. Cincinnati is struggling a little bit. Is it spreading at all? No, but you are working on it at least. And you have gotten the wide turret back in action, which is nice, but you're at half health, roughly speaking. So I'm not going to send you back in. The New York is sitting at about 3/4, give or take. So it's got a little bit of leeway for now. Oh, they're coming in. Break off, break off. Shit. I mean, if you can get a nice, good torpedo, or not torpedo, but identified as destroyers, okay? Don't know how accurate that is because we haven't identified a class. And 6-inch guns seem a little big for destroyers, even if these are supposed to be like 2500s, which as far as I know the British do not have. So I don't think these are, despite what the game's claims, destroyers. I'm pretty sure they are probably CLs, considering it's 6-inch guns. They could be CAs, and we could be getting hit by the secondaries. I don't know. New York, have you finished with your flooding? You have. Wonderful. Cincinnati is still struggling a little bit to get those last 2 points off. Break off. I want you going in. Again, we haven't identified them. Okay, Wibble just took a hit to the engine room. Some light hits, near misses, and I'm assuming this is basically shrapnel from the shell or something hitting the water, doing damage to the engine. You have an arc on either of these. You have an arc on that one. Go ahead, fire. You're not damaged enough to break off, and now you've actually taken some real hits to your superstructure, yeah. Again, those look like they should have hit. Or at least they had a really good shot at hitting, but they ended up missing at just the last second. Wibble is trying to get to the end of the line now. Go ahead and fire another torpedo. Bread. They turned off. Now, so long as we don't get hit by their torpedoes, whatever these are, or maybe they used them all already. I don't know. If these are CLs, they might have used them already, because I think they each only had like, at least the only ones I can recall, I think had something like 2 torpedo tubes. I think 1 on each side generally was the rule of thumb for British CLs. I'm gonna have you guys give chase to this one. The New York is gonna go after this one that seems to be slowing down. Stewart, don't hold fire. There's literally no reason to fire. Okay, that one is taking heavy damage. I would love to turn you in to get a torpedo off, but I don't think that's a great idea. So I'm gonna have you actually turn off and come back around for another gun run. See, okay. This one has been identified as a CL, and I think that is much more likely that these are CLs and not destroyers, despite the game's original claims. Turn off. This, I think, is much more likely that these are CLs. Cincinnati, how are you doing? You dealt with the flooding yet? No, not yet. Has it spread at all? No. And you have torpedo mount reloads. I completely forgot that I gave that to you. So that's nice to know for future reference. Slow down to cruising speed to maximize the amount of time you have time on target. Break off, turn back around. You guys are sort of just going to come in on the front. Well, in the case of destroyers, on the rear of the target. New York's coming in on the front. And New York has lost sight of it on radar. It's possible this one actually might be a destroyer. They were in a little too much of a formation to, I think, both be to be a mix. So they're either both light cruisers or they are both destroyers. One of the two. It doesn't really matter to me. We're sinking them either way. And you misunderstood signals, which could pose a problem if he manages to get a torpedo off, whatever he is. Though it looks like that may not be the case. Go ahead and fire your torpedoes. You are, in fact, actually destroyers. And our guys apparently suck at noting the difference between 6-inch and 4-inch guns. All they know is they saw a hole in the side of the ship and they said it must be a 6-inch gun. No. Turns out it was 4-inch guns. Now, it's possible that he got hit by 2 shells in the same spot. They mistakenly registered it as only a single shell that was 6 inches in this case. You done? No? You guys still are misunderstanding signal? It's whatever, I guess. Where are you going? You guys shouldn't be going anywhere. What are you doing? Why are you still AI controlled? Okay, no, the 6-inch gun shell came from the Viking here. The whatever that one was started with an S. I'm failing to remember what it is now. Come on. Sink, damn you, sink! I mean, you're serving as nice target practice, I suppose. Yeah, okay, looks like the game has decided. Because I tried to have them fire their torpedoes, basically, while they were misunderstanding signals, that they have opted to stay AI controlled going forward, which is annoying to say the least. Okay, the Viking has been sunk. Let's head up here and finish off the other one. Interestingly, the New York has not blown a bulkhead, despite traveling at great speeds of a whopping 16 knots right now, and 20 for quite a while prior to that. Okay, it sunk. Now, were those correct designations? Yes. A Viking class that took 23 medium hits and 43 light hits. Damn. And we actually had a misdesignation on the other one. The other one was being labeled as something that started with an S, if memory serves me correctly. But no, it turns out it was a Gurkha class. 46 medium hits and 4 light hits. A little surprised this one had more medium hits, considering it was the one that was being mostly tailed by the destroyers, which have 5-inch guns, which I would not expect to be labeled as medium hits, unless medium hits does not refer necessarily to the caliber of the shot, which might be accurate, but then that's not really relevant to me personally. I don't know. Either way, this thing got sunk. They have improved search radar, which I believe is what we have. Right? Yeah. So they're still on radar 2. don't recall if blind firing with radar comes with radar 3 or if it comes with a tech after radar 3. I do not recall off the top of my head. Wow. They got quite a few points for that still. In our explosive shells, research has improved by examination of captured enemy munitions. Fuck you guys. You sunk my California class. And, well, I don't care about the Nassau. There we go. No longer blockaded. Granted, neither are they. Where'd they send their fleet? Yeah, I think they sent it back to Northern Europe. That's why they're no longer being blockaded. Okay, let's see. What can we do? No, that's not what I want to do. I don't think MTB squadrons will have any effect on improving our anti-submarine capabilities. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's going to be accurate. So there's not much reason to build those. I've never seen them particularly do anything. It's possible I'm just wrong, but I can't say I've ever seen them do anything particularly useful. So we're just going to continue on. I know, game. I know. We're working on that. I say we're working on that. That's not true, because I'm not doing anything about it, because I don't know of anything I can do about it. Now let's see. Now, the reality is the British should be wanting to get the hell out of this war ASAP. One, they just lost one not long ago. They were the ones that actually made the peace, if I recall correctly, not the Italians. They have 3 dreadnoughts with 1 in the works. I have 4 with 2 in the works. They have 1 battlecruiser to my 2. And of course, when we can add in our allies, the Germans have 3 battlecruisers with another on the way and 5 from the French that are currently in active duty. But their dreadnought tonnage here is less than their total dreadnought tonnage, so they have some rebuilds going on, evidently. I just don't know which one it is. Is it Trident here? Maybe, but that's not being labeled as building right now, so unless it's paused, maybe. Maybe. That might be why. Holy crap, the British have a lot of aircraft, but I have more. And yeah, we need these damn French and German subs to be dealing with those British ones, which the British don't actually have that many, relatively speaking. They have slightly more than the Italians, and I have none because I scrapped them to save money. Because I figured, I don't really need them anymore. What was the theory? Not quite sure how well that's working out now. Let's go ahead, I think, and build... I think we're gonna go ahead and queue up some of these Chaunceys. We'll queue up 6 of them. They take 14 months to build. That's perfectly acceptable to me, especially in the middle of a war. We get those nice, fancy new destroyers to replace all of our ones that are currently being sunk, either in battle or against enemy subs, because we don't have nearly enough ASW where we have our fleets, evidently. Enemy coastal raid. And you're gonna give me that damn. I was hoping you wouldn't. Also, considering you're not giving me my dreadnoughts, I'm hoping you're not giving the enemy the battlecruiser. I mean, you might be. I know how this game works. I know how that works, game. I really do. Also, 300 is a little far away. The reality is, it's probably like at most, maybe 200 at most. Realistically, probably like 170, maybe 160. We'll do that. Also, before I forget, hey, Enterprise, maybe, don't try to use these things as anything other than, you know, what they're meant to be. which is for attacking enemy ships, so ready strike with those and we'll find a use for them. Maybe, because we've literally never actually used them in combat. So, yeah. We haven't had time. The last time we had the ability to actually launch aircraft from our carriers, night was approaching. So, they did nothing for the entire battle. Now there's a chance, maybe, that they'll actually be able to do something productive. You know, I'll actually maybe get to show off launching our naval aircraft against their ships, whatever they may be. Okay, we got a report of a destroyer over here. I'm assuming you have more than that. It's just, that's what's in the lead, and that's what has been reported so far. Though leading with destroyers against my light cruisers is probably not the best idea, especially depending upon which generation of destroyers those are. Because I'm pretty sure the Columbia and Minneapolis can take care of the Viking without any significant issue, and especially the Gurkha, since you downgraded the guns to give it more guns. Okay, Minneapolis has spotted an enemy aircraft. They have not identified it anyway. They just said, hey, we've spotted an enemy aircraft. It's probably a recon right now. Oh yes, that reminds me. I want you to request land-based cap over your division. Because, yeah. That's gonna be annoying. Go ahead and get our destroyers going. You line ahead. And you guys have torpedoes. Oh, you actually have the centerline ones. Yes, wonderful. 20 knots if you don't mind. 20 knots for you. No, you're max speed. Thank you. You guys stay as you are. Reminder not to fire those torpedoes just because you want, and speed up to 20. And also, maybe turn this way, because the heading for this thing... in theory, it might have passed us now. But that depends on what it was doing. You know what, actually, I'm going to go ahead and send the Stuart and the Tripe, or however it's supposed to be pronounced, over in that direction to check it out, see if... And it looks like they may have indeed snuck past us. It's a good thing I did send you guys over there, evidently. Because at least a destroyer has potentially snuck past us. Or at least what was reported as a destroyer. Obviously, there's no guarantee that that was accurate. Though, typically it's not too far off. Okay, currently you're identifying it as a CL, and that should be the thing that was down here reported as a destroyer. So, but as we saw last time, there were a couple of times where those things were... Those two destroyers we sunk were reported as CLs, so we don't know yet, until we get closer. Oh, the Tripe doesn't have the dual gun batteries. Okay, how old are you? You're a Warrington. Thought I gave all the Warringtons the upgrades. Maybe I just never got around to it. And it is, in fact, yeah, a destroyer. It's a Gurkha class. Go ahead, send the Chicago, Baltimore, and the Stuart and Tripe up there to take care of it. The Chicago and Baltimore are just to make sure the job gets done. Now, you have a max speed of 34 knots. You are traveling reportedly at 20, which is not actually 20. It's probably more likely to be maybe 25 or something. I don't want to go too fast that I overtake you. Ooh, we got a hit on it. Wonderful. Nothing significant, I don't think. Oh no, it was. We knocked out one of those turrets. And then the Stuart proceeds to get hit in the engine room, because of course it does. which now maxes you out at 20, which sucks. Okay, Stuart, you might be breaking off once we do some more damage to the Gurkha here. Another hit on it. We're now reporting a speed of 25 knots for it, presumably because we've gotten closer. So we get more accurate information. Oh shit, you have quite a few guns, yeah. I don't know what it is with the Gurkha there, that they just decided to slap as many guns on it as they could. Because they're not that good. They're 4-inch guns. They're only good against destroyers. And maybe very early lightly armored light cruisers, like the Chicago here. And the Baltimore, because I think they're both Chicagos, right? Yeah, they are. Now, I mean, come on guys, the Gurkha's giving you a nice broadside for you to fire into. I'm honestly surprised you're having as much of a hard time hitting it as you are. And Baltimore has now opened fire. Well, the game says the Baltimore has opened fire. There we go, now it has. I guess the Chicago opened fire earlier. Did you actually only send the destroyer? I mean, that's a possibility. That they had more stuff, but the game only sends these things. But it's also possible that as we have observed in the past, their carriers are heading south. Because we've seen them do that in the past. Where they've just headed away from the action immediately. And have just been a pain in our ass. Because of range that they have on those aircraft. Slow down to 20 knots, you're getting a little too close to the Gurkha for my tastes. I don't want you guys overtaking it, because then that'll present a nice broadside for torpedoes, unless you have destroyed the tubes, which it looks like you may have. No, the symbol down here is just seemingly showing as if the tubes were destroyed, but they seem to be fully operational, so not yet, guys. Keep going after it. Turn in. Baltimore was avoiding torpedoes, it did notice them. Okay. If I was it, I'd probably be firing on the Baltimore, which means turning up is probably not the best idea. Turning south may work out for the Baltimore, depending upon when you fired them. Now, I think it's starting to get away from you guys, unless you've done some real damage to it now. No, it's getting away. Go to Squadron Max. It's now being reported at 30. The Stuart's going to break off because it's slowing down the tripe far too much. Oh, and I can't do it because it's not badly damaged enough. So unless it gets its engine working properly. Oh shit, they're coming right for the Enterprise. Now luckily the Enterprise still has good guns. I just, you know, needed to not take a torpedo. Even though it has, I think, torpedo protection 4. So it should be able to avoid any significant damage in theory. Yeah, I swear the symbol down here in the bottom left, which shows me the ship I was hovering over, I swear it shows both of the torpedo tubes destroyed, but it's not. They are very clearly still functional. Especially since it fired some previously at the Baltimore. More hits on it. Wow, you guys managed to overshoot it and hit the forward gun and disable it. But those are probably quality 1 4-inch guns, so maybe guys knock out the rear turrets if you can. That way it stops shooting at you. Okay, well it looks like it gave up going after the Enterprise. And again, we haven't found the other guys. It's possible they did in fact only send the destroyer up. And everything else ran away. Though we also haven't run into any enemy aircraft, so that is also a possibility. That they actually did literally only send the destroyer. Maybe the other things didn't have range? They wanted to join the battle, but the game said, oh no, one, whatever, wasn't able to join the battle because it didn't have enough range from the closest base. Or whatever the case may be. That's a possibility, I suppose. Stewart, did you fix your... Nope, you haven't fixed your damn engine. Come on, guys. No, it's been... You got cool crew quality 0, but you got 3 stars up here, which would indicate that you should have quality, I would expect. But evidently that may not be the case. And it looks like it's firing its guns at the Stewart, interestingly enough. Now it's about to run aground. Well, not literally, but... Oh, and you jammed one of your turrets, Stewart. Oh, but it's the... How the hell did you jam the rear turret? You're not firing it. I mean, seriously, how do you jam a turret that you were literally not using? Okay, good luck with that, guys. You're trying to hit a destroyer. I don't see how you're gonna hit that. Now, I don't like that you're firing on my cruiser. Or, yeah, Corvette, not cruiser. Although it's an old Lakemore, but I still don't like it. You seem like you slowed down, but maybe not. Ah, we got some bomb hits, apparently. And you're claiming CL bomb hits. That's clearly a destroyer, guys. Not a CL. Did not do nearly as much damage as I expected, but you guys at least did something for once. Also, it looks like you jammed the rudder potentially, so slow down the cruising speed. Get as many guns firing on it as you can. Chicago's running low on ammo. Oh damn, you fix your rudder fairly quickly. Compared to my guys that are evidently incompetent at fixing rudders. Yeah, I don't need you reporting that. Oh, and now it's on fire. That could be good. More of flying boats this time, not medium bombers. And one hit on it. That's not from bombers, though. I don't... yeah, because it didn't say bomb hit. So... yeah, no bomb hits. Also, it's possible you guys didn't actually jam the rudder. It's just it was avoiding you, so it was spinning in circles for a little while there. No, they actually only sent a destroyer. Holy crap, I wasted all the other ships. Because I thought they had the cruisers and... the carriers. And potentially a battle cruiser. That was estimated. But they failed miserably. Also, it was highly unlikely that thing was going to succeed anyway, even if it got up here. I don't think it would have had enough ammo to destroy that coastal fortification or coastal installation. Really, 34 VP for them? They lightly damaged a destroyer, an old destroyer. Well, unexpected advancements in subdivision and damage control for portable pumps, which in theory should make dealing with flooding easier. It's just a general damage control improvement, but in theory it'll mostly improve, if it was real life, flooding. And dual purpose 5 inches, yes. Still no invasion of Bermuda though, for reasons. I'm gonna stop accelerating you, and I'm gonna accelerate the one that's at 5, so hopefully we get it out, like, now. Thank you. Oh yes, and the Independence is currently halted. I'll unhalt that in the future. Maybe. We're still kind of waiting. fleet battle in support of land combat. I... Oh yes, you sunk one of my California. No, I should... Oh no. Yeah, no, you sunk one of my Californias. I need to send the Wyoming. What the hell's it doing on the west coast? Oh, it was being rebuilt there, and I just completely forgot to move it. We'll bring that to the east coast. So they're going to outnumber us on dreadnoughts, but we'll outnumber them on battle cruisers estimated. They'll also outnumber us on armored cruisers. We'll outnumber them on light cruisers and corvettes. Or not corvettes, excuse me. Carriers. They have CVLs, I have none of those. And they'll outnumber us on destroyers. Attack enemy ships in general. Now this battle is... I was hoping it wasn't right up here. I was hoping it was a little further. Yeah, no game. I don't want to fight around Newfoundland. Especially when night just passed. It'd be one thing if night was approaching, because then I don't have to deal with this, but considering that night is now just passed, God, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. Okay, well at least I have all three of my corvettes. So this will make things a little bit easier, but not by much. Also, I'm not seeing my... Oh, there it is, the Missouri. Okay, well, let's see. Missouri, I'm gonna go ahead and dump land-based cap on you ASAP, not that any can actually get to you. And on... Oh yes, I can only do it on one at a time. What's more important to me? Single dreadnought or 2 carriers? I think 2 carriers, especially since it's the nice fancy new ones. Not the old Langley. Okay, well, let's go ahead and set up your guys' stuff now. Oh, you're a torpedo bomber. You go to torpedo. Naval, heavy. Naval, heavy. Torpedo. Heavy. Actually, I could technically just do it like this, I believe, generally. Yeah. And I can't sort that annoyingly. Wish it could, because this would make life much easier. Set all these guys. Make sure they're correct. They are. Tell them to ready to strike. You. Carrier Division 8. That is a torpedo bomber, so set it to a torpedo. This is a dive bomber. Give it a heavy bomb. Ready those guys to strike as well. And Battle Division 25 is doing none of that stuff. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and set your search pattern to not be a ridiculous 300 mile, or, well, 300 whatever, I assume nautical miles. But I don't know, actually. Well, actually, I suppose I'll do 150 and a little more to the left, like that. A little further out, because everybody's heading in that direction, so I'm assuming their fleet's up here. Unless the game pulls a... Yeah, unless the game decides to pull Japanese on us and spawns the enemy fleet right on top of us. Which is always a possibility, because screw me. Although that kind of worked out okay for us. Also, the Whipple and the Balch are not going to be in this engagement for very long. They're already at 50%. That could, in theory, be because they're supposed to have been in a different sort of engagement. They heard there was some action up here around Newfoundland. They said, let's go over there, but we don't got enough fuel. We're still going over there. I mean, that's always a possibility. In theory. Now, if this would allow me to sink their carriers, that would be great. Oh, I would love to sink the British carriers. But that ain't a thing right now. We haven't had an opportunity, because they always run away. But if they're up here, we can potentially easily force them up into here. And just fish in a barrel. Make life so much easier. Also, I think I forgot to set you guys to actually have that oh no, I did, okay. For some reason I thought I might have forgotten to give the Enterprise and the Wasp the land-based cap. Again, not that they're going to get any, because they're too far away from land bases. Here we go. 2 BBs and a battlecruiser. I'm going to go ahead. Select all that are ready. Set you there. BBs. Launch strike. And I mean, I've never done a coordinated strike, to be honest. But now I assume in this case what that's basically going to mean is that the dive bombers will go in and the torpedo bombers will go in, but they're going to go in at the same time. The idea being that hopefully the enemy will get hit by one of the two. Either they will get hit by the dive bombers diving on them as they attempt to maneuver to avoid the torpedo bombers, or they'll get hit by the torpedoes that the torpedo bombers launch as they attempt to focus on the dive bombers. You know what? Coordinate the strike. Oh boy. What time is it right now? It is... Jesus, that's gonna take forever. It is currently 8:54 in the morning. They're not gonna get to the target until 2:17 a.m. or excuse me, p.m. So that's what, 6 hours away? Yeah, roughly. Not quite. More like 5, but whatever. That's still a decent amount of time. You know what? I'm gonna set you guys for that, so it's a little bit more accurate, I suppose. Yeah, no, we're not going to do a coordinated strike, I'm sure. The Langley's going to hold on to... Okay, I saw a marker here for an unknown something or other. I don't know what it is. There was a radar contact here. It could have been enemy aircraft, potentially, I don't know. But I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. I'm not seeing it again, so I'm inclined to go with yes, in fact it was. Okay, what are some of these reports? Battlecruiser there. Battlecruiser CV, CVL, armored cruiser. Okay, that's the one I want, but I already sent you guys. You're already launching. Or at least attempting to. A little too late to change your target. But the other guys, it may not be too late. So everybody who's ready, you have a new target. And launch strike. If I do coordinated, it's an extra couple minutes, not that much time. Maybe it's fine. You know what? You don't have a lot of stuff. Try the coordinated strike. Maybe you get better results than the Enterprise and Wasp that are going after the whatever the hell those things are. Wibble, you're all on your lonesome in that squadron, actually. Or division. Oh yes, we got the New York, the Huron, and the Northampton, which are all different designs. Well, no, the New York and Huron are the same. Yeah, they're both Huron classes, but the Northampton is a Frederick. It's older, but it's still good. A little bit slower. That's what's slowing you guys down a little, but not much. It's okay, I guess. Again, I'm not picking up that radar contact again, which is a little worrying. Oh, also, actually, no more searching, because you guys have found roughly the enemy position. I don't need to have the exact information, to be honest. It's not that important to me. if I have the exact location. I just need the rough area, which is right here. If I could force them northwest, that'd be great, but that ain't happening, I don't think. At least not until the actual engagement begins. And actually, it looks like you guys did manage to get some land-based cap potentially, which is surprising, because I didn't think Halifax would have been able to get anything out to here. Yep, okay, here we go. Yeah, enemy dive bombers detected over there. But here we go. Our Bearcats and Sentinels are going. Those are the ones I think launched by the Langley. Like Cruiser Division 27, which is you guys, detected some more dive bombers. You guys gotta close in quickly, because you don't have a whole lot of heavy AA anyway. You need as much as you can get. There we go. Oh. 3 enemy dive bombers attempt to go for the Chicago. Baltimore and Chicago fire with a combined AA factor of 8. None hit by the heavy AA. Chicago fires at 6 medium AAs, no hits, no bomb hits. It fires its 9 light AA, and it gets 1 aircraft damaged. Another round. We did destroy 1 of theirs, wonderful. 4 more attempted. And the heavy AA destroyed 1. Yeah, I imagine a 3-inch shell to the frame of your dive bomber will probably hurt. Another one attempts to finish the job again on the Chicago, and it gets damaged by the... oh no, this is the Columbia now. One attempted an attack on the Columbia, and it got damaged for that. Which I'm not too surprised by. That is 44 heavy AA factor from the Columbia alone, additional 44 from the Minneapolis. It only got a combined of 22, because obviously these things aren't centerline. So if you attack from one side, you only have to deal with half of it. Do you guys not have any? Oh crap, the Dales are ancient, aren't they? Oh no, they're 700 tons. I don't think they're ancient. No, actually I think they are, now that I'm thinking about it. Yes, 700 tons I think is ancient. Holy crap, those things are still around. I'm honestly a little surprised by that. Enemy aircraft approaching Carrier Division 10, which is the Enterprise and the Wasp. They have tons and tons of heavy AA. So they should be okay. The cap is intercepting. Friendly harpoons shot down 2 Horsley dive bombers. Another one damaged. Another one shot down. Another shot down, and 3 more damaged. Oh no, this is one of theirs. They shot down one of our fighters. The cap continues to intercept. They're down to just 2. Even if they manage to get their bomb load off, they're not going to do significant damage to the Enterprise. Or whichever one it is that they're going after. There's some torpedo bombers coming in. Not a fan of those. Some stuff coming in for the battle cruisers. The Missouri does have some range to be able to fire off some of it, so we get a combined of 36. Actually, just from the Missouri, do you guys not have dual purpose? You do, you just don't have a shot apparently, and yet somehow the Missouri does. Whatever, game. We damaged one of their torpedo bombers up here. Oh no, not torpedo bombers. I'm sorry, game. I didn't realize something was trying to dive bomb the Missouri. Never mind. Okay, some of our stuff has landed back on the Enterprise, our fighters, presumably to rearm and refuel. Don't know what happened to those torpedo bombers of theirs, but I imagine they may not have been able to drop their torpedoes, or if they did, they are way off. Now, we haven't gotten anything for our guys. Another guy's tried to come in on the Minneapolis, and that was my timer that just went off, so I'll go ahead and end this part here in just a moment. No aircraft hits whatsoever. And some more Brewster harpoons land on the Enterprise. Torpedo bombers come in on the Missouri. We destroy one with heavy AA. We damage another with heavy AA, and then damage two more with light AA. I assume that was those 6 that were up there that we just saw for a second. Now because, oh, here we go, we have actual eyes on something of theirs. And I think that's a perfect place to end this part. So we're gonna go and end this part here. I will see you all next time where we will be continuing this battle. This is probably gonna be basically the battle that makes or breaks this war again with the British. If we sink this, or if we win this battle with minimal losses, we will have sunk the vast majority of their capital ships potentially. Again, they only had like 3 dreadnoughts. There's supposed to be 2 in this battle. They have, I think it's 3 CVs. They have 2 in this battle. They have 3 CVLs. I don't know how many they actually have in action. And I can't pull up that information, sadly. But yeah, if we manage to win this battle, like I said, with minimal losses, particularly among our capital ships, this will probably be the battle that makes or breaks the war, because they will not be able to recover from this loss, if they lose, during this war. So this will cripple them going forward until after the war is over. And by that point, we're already rebuilding. You know, those old dreadnoughts we lost in previous engagements, we're replacing with fancy new Oklahomas. Yes, it's the Oklahoma, if I recall correctly. They're still a ways out, but they're on their way. I think we have one that's what, like 7 or 8 turns out? That'll be a nice fancy ship once we finally get it out. And we got some new battle cruisers coming in as well to replace the Constitution classes that we lost previously. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The British are going to be hurting if I win this battle. So we're going to need to do that with minimal losses, particularly to our capital ship fleet. So the Missouri, the Constitution and Lexington, Enterprise, Wasp, Langley, we need to make sure these things don't sink. Which, sadly for the Missouri, Constitution, and Lexington, doesn't quite work out, because for them to do their thing, they kind of have to be on top of the enemy. Roughly speaking, of course, not literally. So that kind of hampers their ability to be particularly effective. But it looks like we have started actually spotting them officially with actual ships, not just reports coming in. Now these guys look like they're coming down on over here. Well, at least the dive bombers are. Don't know what those other dive bombers are doing, but the 14 here are coming down in the direction of this guy, so maybe this is one of their capital ships. It's possible. It's not too far off from this projected line. So that is a possibility that is one of their dreadnoughts who've we hit that with some nice it's 600 pounds for our dive bombers, if I recall correctly. For whatever reason, our torpedo bombers have larger bombs for their heavy bomb load, but 600 will still hurt. You know, that might knock out some guns, which will make my life easier. It might knock out the conning tower, potentially even, which will also, I believe, make our life easier, because I think that does actually have a negative effect on accuracy. But that'll be it for this part. I will see you all next time, but until then, a goodbye and farewell.